In the heart of Africa's unforgiving deserts, where temperatures soar beyond belief and rainfall is a fleeting promise, water has always meant more than survival. It meant balance. It meant wisdom. It meant life itself. Long before modern civilization brought pipes, pumps, or purification tablets, the indigenous peoples of Africa mastered the art of finding, preserving, and storing water with nothing but their understanding of the land, the sky, and the animals around them. These ancient tribes did not simply fetch water. They studied its movement, respected its power, and built entire ways of life around its scarcity. Ostrich eggshell canteens, nature's perfect water bottle. Among the San people, one of the oldest continuous cultures on Earth, water gathering was a matter of instinct, passed from elder to child. When the rivers dried and the sun baked the sand into stone, the sand didn't panic. They listened, they watched, they looked for signs others ignored. Beetles that harvested morning dew, termite mounds that pointed to moisture underground, the bends in the roots of desert shrubs. And then, with incredible precision, they would extract the water. Not with containers, but with carved reeds, used like primitive straws to draw droplets from beneath the parched ground. What little water they gathered was carefully stored in hollowed ostrich eggshells, sealed with wax or resin, and buried beneath the surface to keep them cool. These eggshells weren't mere containers. They were the desert's original canteens, durable, biodegradable, and ingenious. Rock-carved cisterns, sacred reservoirs in stone. But not all deserts are alike, and neither were the methods. Travel further north into the Sahel or the edges of the Sahara, and you'll find stories of ancient tribes who carved entire cisterns into solid rock. During the brief but intense rainy seasons, water would cascade off the cliffs and mountains and collect in these man-made basins. These stone cisterns, often hidden from outsiders and shielded from the sun, could hold thousands of liters. To prevent leaks, the interiors were lined with natural sealants, clay mixed with plant gum, hardened by fire and sun. These cisterns were more than storage. They were sacred places. Ceremonies were held when the first rains filled them. Elders offered thanks to the spirits for this life-giving gift. Sand dams, water hidden in plain sight. In regions where rain was even rarer, like parts of Namibia or Sudan, another innovation arose: the sand dam. Built in dry riverbeds that only flowed during flash floods, sand dams were low stone walls reinforced with mud. When the rains came, the water would rush down the channel, but the dam would trap the heavier sand. Over time, layer upon layer of wet sand built up behind the dam. This sand acted like a sponge, soaking up water and shielding it from the sun's evaporation. Months after the rain had vanished, the villagers could dig shallow pits and find clean, cool water hidden just below the surface. These structures were built by hand, yet they supported entire villages through the driest seasons. The Baobab tree, Africa's living water tower. But perhaps one of the most awe-inspiring examples of natural water storage came not from what humans built, but from what they learned to use. Towering above the savannas and deserts of Africa is the Baobab tree, sometimes called the tree of life. These giants can live over 1,000 years and reach incredible girth. Inside their trunks, they store rainwater, sometimes tens of thousands of liters. During rainy seasons, they absorb it like sponges, and during drought, they offer it, carefully, sparingly, and only to those who respect the tree's spirit. The baobab wasn't just tapped for water. Its fruit, bark, and pulp were used for hydration and nutrition, making it a complete survival package from nature itself. Following the animals. Nature as teacher. Animals were more than companions or prey. They were guides. The San and other desert trackers followed elephants who instinctively knew where to dig in dry riverbeds. Birds circled distant ponds. Certain beetles gathered dew, inspiring water harvesting methods still used today. These tribes watched, mimicked, and learned. Over time, their understanding of animal behavior became a kind of natural GPS, guiding them toward life-saving water sources hidden beneath the earth. The wells, rituals, and water keepers. At the communal level, wells were more than utility, they were sacred centers of life. Dug by hand, lined with stone, and protected with lids, these wells were often under the care of elders or spiritual leaders. Before drawing water, songs were sung and rituals performed. Water was never taken for granted. It was always offered to the earth before being used by humans. A drop wasted was seen as a blessing lost. Today, many of these techniques survive in rural Africa, not out of nostalgia but necessity. But now, sustainability experts and engineers are paying attention too. Sand dams are being rebuilt across Kenya. Rock cisterns are studied by climate scientists. Baobab hydration is being researched for drought relief. These aren't just traditions. They're blueprints for surviving climate change, water scarcity, and environmental collapse. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson. As the world races toward high-tech solutions for low-resource problems, it's often the ancient knowledge that holds the key. The people of the African deserts didn't merely survive. They thrived by listening, respecting, and adapting. Maybe we need less invention and more remembering. If this story of ancient water wisdom moved you, inspired you, or opened your eyes to the brilliance of Africa's past, then subscribe to Mythic Africa for more timeless knowledge. Like this video if you believe ancient wisdom still has power. Share your thoughts in the comments, because sometimes the solutions to tomorrow's challenges are buried not in new ideas, but in the sands of memory.